So today on IGN, we actually got some pretty good news. We got some information on things that we really didn't know about, or we kind of had suspicions, but we really couldn't confirm. And today in this IGN interview with Trick Dempsey, one of the senior developers for The Division 2, we found out some really cool information. And don't worry, in this video I will be covering it all. But before we do get into the video, I do want to say a quick thank you to our sponsor of the video, Advanced GG. You guys know I've been partnered with them and they sell some of the best energy products out there. And what I do love about them is that they are very transparent with everything they put in their product, and they love not putting any fillers in their product. Unlike some of those other brands, you have to be careful what you take. So with them being so transparent, you know exactly what you're putting in your body. Now, if you guys want to take advantage of getting a discount, use skills at checkout and get 10% off your order. But let's get back into the news. So you guys might wonder, why are we doing the Schaefer manhunt here at Coney Island? Well, it will all make sense in a second. So to celebrate the Division 2 turning to, IGN India spoke to Trick Dempsey, senior game designer and developer at Massive Entertainment, to find out what goes behind making and sustaining a live service game like the Division 2. So when I first started reading this article, I was like, oh, well, we probably won't get anything that we don't already know. But I was very surprised what they ended up revealing us. But the first thing they did get into during this article was they talked about cooperative play in the Division 2. Division 2 has more cooperative players than in Division 1. All the number crunchings and reworking seems to have paid off. Dempsey reveals that the players played together more often in the Division 2 versus the first game, which I could see. A greater percentage of playtime in the Division 2 is grouped than in Division 1, and she says, before cautioning, that doesn't mean single player experiences in the Division 1 are absent. And that's true, because I play a lot of solo Division 2. Like I do play with groups, and it's a mix for me, but I think I play a lot more solo, especially because sometimes I get on, a lot of my friends or people I play with aren't on at that time just because of the schedule, my schedule in the real world. So I can really see that happening, that the Division 2 does, and then with raids, more players playing together, obviously it all makes sense. Now the next topic they get into is Division 2 manipulation, and this really caught my eye because I 100% see this, and I think all of us see this by now. Division 2 lore is built on manipulation. And at the very bottom it says, just because something exists in old planning document does not make it true, and agents should not trust the words of characters with an agenda, she says. The world of the Division is filled with intrigue, betrayal, and any character who records or broadcasts something does so with intent to manipulate their audience. Unless the agent themselves sees something happening with their own eyes, they should be very careful about trusting too deeply. And I honestly think we saw this a lot in the whole FOLLW manhunt. We had no idea at the very end of the day that she was going to do what she did, and she turned on us. And we've seen that with a lot of different people in the story of the Division 2. So like they said, don't believe everything you hear and wait till you see for it yourself. And I feel like that could go for a lot of things in this division. Just like Division 2 leaks. We read a lot, we hear a lot, and nothing is really true until we see it for ourselves or we get confirmation from the devs that this is true. And that's something that I think we could all take. But I think it's time to get into the most juiciest part of the interview itself. And this is what a lot of you guys probably came here for. So at the very end of the interview, it says, don't expect total closure from future Division 2 content. That said, with more content slated for the Division 2 this year, does Massive Entertainment plan to give the community closure in terms of the plot and story? Reason being, the campaign as well as its Warlords of New York expansion and subsequent events, the studio has been content with drip feeding approach of the Division 2 story reveals. She left us with this. And what Trick Dempsey tells us in this next paragraph, holy, this answered a lot for me. So the Division is an ongoing story, so we're not going to be providing total closure anytime soon, she confirms. The past year has seen the deaths of major characters, so we'll need to promote some supporting characters into the spotlight. The Sokolov family is still making trouble, And this takes us back to the Schaefer mission. Remember when we heard about Natalie Sokoloff and she was asking about the hunters? Schaefer was saying this line isn't secure. She says, who cares? And she pretty much says it's up to you and our remaining BTSU operatives. So she's the one that seems to be funding these guys. And with Schaefer, we found out more in this interview. So right after that line where it says the Sokoloff family is still making trouble, it says Schaefer is in custody. And if you remember, a lot of people weren't sure if he was dead or not. But when you do complete his manhunt bounty, this is what it actually says.
Target neutralized. Vital signs critical.
It's just a scratch. I've sent a team to retrieve Schaefer. You did it, Agent. You got Schaefer. Not only did you eliminate the rogue cell, but you eliminated Black Tusk's top dog and the head of the BTSU. Regardless of what shady shit they may have been up to, this will have devastating repercussions on the Black Tusk and their operations. Great job, Agent. Really great job.
So there we go. We first have confirmation that Natalie Sokoloff, the Sokoloff family, is probably going to be a big part in the future of the lore of the Division 2. And number 2, we got confirmation that Schaefer is in custody 100%. He's not dead, so that means he could be feeding us intel on what's going to be happening with the Sokoloff family, where they are, what their intentions are, and that could be everything that we need to know going forward on where the Division lore will be going. And we kind of got one more full closure on the manhunt of FOLLW. At the very end, it says Division may have a hierarchy, but is still reeling from the loss of one of its most prominent agents. FOLLW, right? The crisis which activated Division is far from over. So even though this article wasn't supposed to release any crazy news, it actually gave us some really good solid information and confirmations on things that we were thinking. First, we always wondered what was going on with Natalie Sokoloff. What was her role? Will she be a role in the future? And it looks like that will be the focus of the lore of the Division 2. We wondered what happened to Schaefer. Some people assumed he died because he was in custody. Some people said, hey, he's in custody and we're gonna be interrogating him. And it seemed like all of those people were right too. And then finally, some people had the crazy theory that FOLLW was somehow still alive and she wasn't dead. And it looks like it was kind of confirmed there that yes, FOLLW is gone and there will be new big dogs that we will be after. So hopefully what they have planned for us in the future is going to be great, and we still have hope and we still have the future of Division 2 for all of you guys who are in love with this franchise. Don't give up. Sooner or later we'll get some more content. In the meantime, just enjoy playing games. I'll see you guys again, but until the next one, nothing but skills out.